Rochelle White. Again. She is the most consistent. Joyce Arrow. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Jefferson, long time. I'm sure you've been there somehow, only you've not been saying hi, I guess, but nice to see you. I'm sure you've been there somehow, only you've not been. Reverend Rosalind, Innocent. Bless you guys, bless you everyone. Justin Mayo, Adelaja Disu. You see, I have a topic today that I'm going to talk about that is really very, very, is bringing goosebumps on me. I'm feeling such a high level of responsibility for this message today. Because this message is so relevant, it's so important. The message is so vital that I am feeling such a high weight of responsibility on me for this message today. Oh, I wish people would know it. How I wish people would know about this truth, and how I wish the country and the nations of the world will come and listen to this truth. This truth today is going to be probably one of the most important truths that you ever hear anybody talk about. One of the most important truths. One of the most important truths you ever hear anybody talk about. And it's going to be one of the most important truths that I think I'll be talking about. So the series this week is going to be on the truth again, like we did last week. Only this week, the series is going to be called, What is Truth? What is truth? What is truth? Let me give you some of the ideas of what I want to cover, some of the things I want to cover this week. One of the things I want to cover this week, I mean, not this week, in this series, because I'm not sure we might finish this week. But I want to talk about what truth is. Then I want to talk about what truth is not. Then I want to talk about what is the truth, because that's a little bit different from what truth is. What is the truth? Then I want to talk about why truth matters. Then I want to talk about the importance of truth. You might say, what's the difference between why truth matters and the importance of truth? But we'll see. Then I want to talk also about how to detect the non-truth, or how to detect lies, falsehood, what is not truth. So this is in this series. Then apart from this series, I have several other topics on the truth that I'll be talking about. So this is so important that I'm feeling a high level of responsibility for it. So please go ahead and share this message with as many people as possible. Go and look for your friends that you really love, somebody you really care for, and go and send the invitation to them. Go and send the invitation to them. So this series we are talking on what is truth. Have you ever heard of anybody addressing that so much? Well, I addressed that a little bit. I heard that address when I was studying journalism in philosophy. They talk about, but no, they never give the answer. They have a whole book about it, but no answer. They never have answer for it. I think that after my message, they will all be coming to get the answer from here. What is truth? And many other questions. Well, Father, I pray that I commit this word to your hand, and I pray that you really help me. You know, not every day I need to pray for assistance from God, but this one I really need this assistance to help me. Father, I pray that you will give me that utterance that is needed. I pray that you will speak to your people by yourself. Thank you that you have heard and you are here. In Jesus' name. Now, somebody could say, how did I know he's heard and he's here? I didn't just say it by faith, because he showed up. I just saw Jesus right now. I can tell you where he's standing. So I just got to know that he's here. And he's giving me his go-ahead and his consent. So he's here. He has just showed up. So we are ready to go. Okay. Somebody else also is saying there that I feel you. I feel it. Good. So, why does the truth matters? Why does truth matters? Matter. Why does truth matters? Why truth matters? Why truth matters? Why is truth so important? Why is truth important? Why does truth matter? Why does truth matter? Well, truth is important because let me start by telling you a story. Recently, was it a few days ago, somebody was talking to me about truth, because I was telling them we are talking about truth, and this person was saying most of the thing that you hear these days is that truth is relative, and that truth is not absolute, and so truth is not compulsory. Everybody has their own. Everybody has his or her own truth. And that, truth is not important. So if you want, you can live by the truth. If you don't want, you cannot live by the truth. Truth is an old-fashioned topic. So, what is truth? That's religion. I say it's not religion. You say, hey, if any one of you have listened to my series on the kingdom, I've addressed this a little bit. Let me tell you something about the truth. The fact of the matter is that there is no alternative to the truth. I don't care who denies it. And I don't care how much they deny it. I don't care if the whole world is denying the truth. And I don't care if the whole world doesn't recognize truth. But let me tell you the truth. Let me tell you something right here. There is no alternative to the truth. Let me even tell you something even more severe. God has created this world to function by the truth. You can rebel against the truth, but then life will not work for you. Earth will not function without the truth. That is how important the truth is. Why is this so important? Because truth is one of the main characteristics of God. God is truth, but let's leave religious out of it. Just let's use logic. Let's use understanding, all right, wisdom. God is truth. But besides that, this is God. But God has created the whole earth to function by the truth. The whole earth can only function only when it's abiding by the truth. The whole earth humanity can only walk when we walk by and in the truth. I can even prove to you that industries will stop working when we stop recognizing and respecting the truth. I will go beyond that. Societies will collapse without the truth. There will be no education without truth. There will be no medicine without truth. There will be no life on earth without truth, my dear. Truth is so important that if my country will recognize how important truth is, we would know that truth is more important than government. Truth is more important than president. Truth is more important than oil. Truth is more important than raw materials that we have. Truth is absolute. And truth must always be absolute. When truth stops being absolute and relative, we compromise with the truth. And the very foundation of the society begins to shake and begins to fall apart. There is no alternative to the truth, my dear friends. So this person who told me that truth doesn't matter, can you come? Let me use you as an example of success. I told him, okay, you said truth doesn't matter. Let's say, I'm using him as an example. He didn't say that. Let's say you said truth doesn't matter. And I say, okay, you think truth doesn't matter? Okay. Let's take anything. Without the truth, everything collapses. God is the truth, and he has laid the truth as the foundation of the whole universe. In fact, all of us, we wake up this morning and we wake up every day. We go by our daily activities, but we don't know that all these things are happening thanks to the truth. We walk in darkness. We know not. We understand not what we have and why things function. Things only work on earth thanks to truth. Let me give you one example. Let's say this society where we live right now, take your society, England, London, Nigeria, America, Ukraine, any country where you are in. And we say, we don't recognize the truth anymore. We revolt against the truth. We don't recognize truth because it's religious or it has to do with God. So we don't want to recognize truth. I will celebrate you. I'll be the first one to clap for you. Good. Bravo. You are so smart. But you will not survive a week without truth. No society will survive it a week without truth. This is why this topic is so key. No society can survive it more than 24 hours without the truth. Even 24 hours, they might not survive it. The power and significance of the truth. So you say there is no truth, and I say, okay, let me prove to you. Let's demonstrate it. Let's go to the laboratories of life and find out why truth is the very basis of your life and your very existence. So let's say you are a president. Even if you are the president of your country and you say you don't want truth, truth doesn't matter, okay. I applaud you. But I guarantee you that you will not survive it for a week. Your whole country will collapse. Okay, you say truth doesn't matter. What that means is we don't recognize the truth. We can live without it. Okay, let's remove truth from every sphere of life. Number one, the people who are supposed to appear at work to monitor the fact that electricity is working, because truth doesn't matter anymore, they will oversleep. They will not just oversleep, they will say they have done it. Nothing will work, electricity will first of all go off. The people who are in charge of water supply, since truth is not necessary, they will divert it and go and sell it. Why? Because truth, no matter, will matter. Nothing matters. Truth doesn't matter. So there will be no water. You can't go to the toilet. You go to the toilet, no water to flush it. You wake up in the night, if you wake up in the morning, there is still natural water. You can't iron clothes. You can't cook food. Because your cooking food is connected to electricity. But even if you say, okay, you will not use electricity, you will use gas. But the problem is that gas cannot function with water inside. And since truth doesn't matter, some people will just replace 50% gas and 50% water. And because truth doesn't matter. Then you want to drink water. You want to buy some drink like this or Coca-Cola. But instead of Coca-Cola, you just put coal because it looks the same color. And you make it and just sell it for you. You give your money, but you get coal that is dark with some, and you drink it. Oh, you die. Death everywhere. Why? Because you have removed the truth. Truth doesn't matter. You want to tell me truth doesn't matter? You want to tell me truth doesn't matter? God is truth. Because it matters. Truth must matter. Nobody can do without truth, even though you might say you are an atheist. You can be an atheist, you can be anything you want to be. But if you remove God or his principles, okay, you can say you remove the word God or you remove church. You can remove anything you want to remove religiously. But you cannot remove God because the whole earth is made to function by his nature, by his principles. Truth doesn't matter. You have a wife. Your wife will say she's your wife, and she'll be sleeping with anybody in the street, your neighbor. Truth doesn't matter. She will bring out a pregnancy for you, and you think it's your pregnancy, it's your child. Then you discover that out of your 6 child, none of them is yours. Truth doesn't matter. You will pay school fees, you don't know for whom. Truth doesn't matter. Let's go beyond that. If truth doesn't matter, then there is no police system. Because truth doesn't matter. There is nothing to police. If truth doesn't matter, then law doesn't matter. There is no law. If law doesn't matter, there is no order. Truth doesn't matter? You still want to tell me truth doesn't matter? You still want to tell me truth doesn't matter? Okay, let's continue. Let's keep on going. You get into your car and you begin to travel, and you go into the petrol station, and instead of petrol, they put you kerosene. And then your car cannot move. But it's not just your car that cannot move. Every other car that is lying up cannot move. The whole country stands still. No car moving. Even those ones who have oil, petrol, because you have stopped, all of them have to stop too. You want to tell me truth doesn't matter? You want to tell me truth doesn't matter? If then, let's say you have Mercedes-Benz in your country, or this is Germany you are coming from, or you are living in. Because we have a German here. So if you say, somebody say, I love this man, shy. He said, shy, I love this man. He's a man, not a girl. Not a woman. No. But you see, the tragedy of this whole thing is that nobody talks about this topic. Even pastors and churches don't talk about this truth. You know, when last did you hear anybody talk about truth? People don't talk about truth because they think it's not important. It's just some ephemeral understanding, some philosophical or religious thing. Oh, okay. You want to tell me it's religious stuff? You want to tell me it's religious stuff? That's why I give my life to. You won't tell me it doesn't matter? If it doesn't matter, I'm not so fully to give my life to you. Life is about truth. And I'm so sad That even in my country today, we don't even value truth. We don't rate truth. If you see a society where nothing works, it's because they have not valued truth. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you the opposite of truth, the importance of. Let me tell you a society. What? Okay, I've told you what will happen to a society without truth. Now let me tell you what happens to society where truth is highly valued. I'm so concerned about this message this whole week. I'm having goosebumps. I'm concerned that God will help me to pass it across. And I know I've gotten this assurance going to help me. But I'm also believing God that God will help people to get it. And not just to get it. I want to believe God that God will bring as many people as possible to come and hear this. Because if our world could get this right, bad news. Okay, I didn't finish the German something. Okay, let me finish German before I come to what is okay. What truth is, where truth is okay. So, let's talk about Germany. Let's say you are doing Mercedes-Benz. And they also believe, they know that truth doesn't matter. But Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Rolls-Royce, any of those companies and industries, the only reason why they are famous and important is because of truth. iPad, what are they? Smartphones, iPhone, what do you use? Is it Microsoft? All those companies that are famous, it is only truth that is holding them up, not professionalism. Why? Let me prove that to you on the basis of Mercedes-Benz. Because Mercedes-Benz is okay. I will come back to Mercedes-Benz. Remind me if I forget to talk about Mercedes-Benz and Germany. You remind me. I will come back. Okay. But before I go there, let me continue to say what I wanted to say about. I've told you what is going to be wrong with a society that doesn't value truth, right? That the society, do you now agree that the society will collapse? Absolutely. Okay, everybody should agree that if there is no truth in any society, the society will collapse. Now, let's now talk about a society where they highly value truth. You see, when people in my country are busy saying that we just need more oil, we need more raw materials or mineral resources, the amount of ignorance breaks my heart. Then now there is another craze in my country. The Oduduwa Republic wants to, not all of them, but some people, some young people there, they want to copy Biafra Republic. They want to go out of Nigeria. You know, Arewa also is saying some things. My people thinking that breaking the country will solve their problem. Oh, wow. Oh, how ignorance is killing my people. Then there is another now, craze now, another, which is not bad, but people don't get it, which is restructuring of the country. People are talking about the restructuring of the country. Okay, no, good idea. All those are just good thoughts, but they don't understand on what basis societies are built. Those things will not resolve the country. They'll be the problem. In fact, let me tell you the thing. If we do restructuring of the country, it will lead to breaking of the country. It might not lead to it, but restructuring is not that bad. But if we break away from each other, those ones who break away might also end up breaking away, like Ukraine now. Ukraine break away from themselves, but now see what is happening. So, but you see, it is all, we are not treating the disease. And I'm going to tell you that the disease that we really have, that we really need to treat, and I'm going to prove to you that value system is our problem, really. Value systems. Now, there are many, in fact, one of my latest books is going to be about that, the purpose of nations. It's going to be about value system, but let's leave that alone right now. But let me just tell you about one value system, the truth that we're addressing this week. Okay, let me just give you the emphasis and tell you the importance of truth in any society. If truth is valued in any society, if truth is valued in any society, I've told you already what will happen if truth is not valued. Now, let's say truth is valued. What does that give us? If you see a society where truth is valued, you know what that means? That equals to automatically one, industrial development. Why industrial development? Because of just one word, truth? Oh, yeah. And if you are interested, I will oblige you. And I will, with all pleasure, tell you why that is so. Because if truth is exalted, only one value in society, there will be no corruption in that society. You know that. Because truth. If that's one. Two, if truth, one quality alone, if truth is valued in a society, there will be no cheating in that society. Number three, if truth is valued in any society, everything will be done according to merit. Number four, if truth is valued in any society, that society will be a developed country. Why? Because truth equals standards. Oh. And if everything is done according to standard, standard equals quality. Truth equals excellence. You know what he's telling me? Bidemi is saying, I can't even find this in any economic textbook. I'm doing my master's in economics. Can't even find this in any economic textbook. This is using the principles of truth to awaken nations. Oh, yeah. This is what I spoke about in the United Nations. No, I spoke twice in the United Nations. One time I spoke about open your gates. Open your gates. But the second time when I spoke in a closed meeting, I spoke about this. They were calling me to be coming to speak to them. They wanted to call the General Assembly of the United Nations for me to speak to them. Anyway, how many have I mentioned? I think I've mentioned a lot. So, but let's keep on Let's keep on mentioning. So, if truth is exalted in any society, there will be security in that society. You know why? No, there will be no bribes. That nobody will not have armed robbers. Just one quality. So when I'm saying that the most important thing that is needed in any society is truth, one quality, and I'm talking, we could have many, we could have many value systems, but at least one will give us all these things that I'm talking about. But let's continue. I talk about economic and industrial development. If you have, now let's go back to Germany. Look at any developed country today. You will automatically find out that if there is any country that is progressing, it is only because they have exalted the principles of truth above others. Even in Europe here, you find out the difference between Germany and, let's say, Italy. Truth is more vigorously established and pursued in one than the other. In fact, it can even be only just 1% difference. Let's say this country is pursuing the truth on, okay, for example, England has many more opportunities than Germany. More international hub, more financial centers, but the standard of truth is been compromised a little bit because they have so many foreigners and people that are coming there. Just 1%, maybe 0.5%. And Germany, it overtook England. England used to be the superpower, or not just of Europe, but of the world. Overtook England France overtook England. It became number 3, even in Europe. Just a little, walking, just that, inconsistent with the truth. You are going back already. Okay, let me continue saying, any country, listen to me again, where you see economic and industrial development, in fact, any country where they exalt the truth, there will be technological breakthrough. You know why? Because truth is the basis for naучно-технический progress. Как это сказать? So truth is the basis for industrial and technological progress. Yeah. Industrial and technological progress. Yes. Industrial, technological, scientific. Science is based on truth. Okay, let me just prove that to you a little bit. Let's say you are building Mercedes-Benz company. And we say there is no truth. We don't respect the truth. But for any machine to work, either in industry or car or space or NASA or any industry to work, for any science to work, you must not deny the absolutism of truth, which is the basis of truth is the basis of science is truth, and the basis of industry and technology is science, mathematics, physics, biology, chemistry, things like that. So let's say, for example, you want to build your line, your assembly line or in the car, Mercedes-Benz. And the calculations, for you to build anything, it's calculations. It's mathematics. You have to calculate it, right? Yes. So in the calculation, it's supposed to be 2 plus 2. But you say, no, but I don't. The algorithm. In the algorithm, you say 2 plus 2 must be 4. You cannot say, oh, but I disagree. Okay, and this one say, okay, my own opinion is that it's not 4. My own opinion is that 2 times 2 or 2 plus 2 is 16. So one side of you are on this side of the car, building this side of the car, right? So you put 1 plus, somebody put 2 plus 2 here is 4, and you are supposed to put, there's one leg, you have 4 legs in a car. So you have to do this side of the 2, this side of the 2. So you put 2 plus 2, 4 on this side, and you that is fixing the other one say, I don't believe it. 2 plus 2 is 16. Look at the way the car will look. One side of the car will be here, the other side of the car will be here. Car will not move. The same thing in industry. Or let's say building, this building you are saying now, or any construction. You say, okay, it's the same thing. 2 plus 2, mathematics, science, industry, technology, is all based on truth. So let's say the truth is that 2 plus 2 is 2. But you said, no, I don't believe it. So we put calculations, because building also is civil engineering, which is calculations. So in the calculations, you went and changed one figure alone. Not even in many places. Even if it's just one case, one place, where you say, no, 2 plus 2 is not 4. Only one place. And the calculations you have like 16,000 or 20,000, 50,000 calculations. But one is not consistent with the truth. And the truth is that 2 plus 2 is 4. Only one is not consistent. This house will collapse. It's like a bomb. Any car will not work. Any industry will not work. So that's why when you see any society where truth is elevated, where truth is exalted, you will see technological progress in that society. You will see people loving science. You will see people coming out with creativity. You will see medicine growing because of truth. You will see science growing because truth is the basis for laboratories and researches. And if you could do researches, the truth will come out in every area. Just one principle. Can you imagine how important it is? I think you got it. From your laughter, I could tell it. I could tell. Tell me what you are thinking.
Okay, Pastor.
What did you girls catch? Do you now see why I was so emotional about this? Yeah, go ahead.
This is like the bedrock
No,
of every...
you have to speak louder.
This is like the bedrock of every national development. If there's any country that is great in the world today, it's great on the force of truth. Like, I came to now understand this scripture that says that righteousness will exalt a nation, but sin will be a reproach to any people. So I now understand that basically what is being talked about in that instance is the power and the force of truth. That when the force of truth is employed in any country on earth, they become developed. But when the force of truth is abased in any country, then they become like a third world nation. So third world nations are third world nations just because of their value for truth. And the first world nations, they are first world nations because of the value and the emphasis that they place on truth.
So you now understand why when Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore,
Yes.
what the only thing he did, he enforced truth. When he enforced truth, you know what happened? From third world.
Yeah, to first world.
Very fast.
Wow.
That's why those countries like the Scandinavian countries and those countries, they are stable. Stability is based on truth. But now, let's talk about my country then. What about if everybody divide and just go and take off?
Then if...
No truth, though. Because nobody is talking about... I don't know, maybe you know people who are talking about... Okay, since nobody is addressing truth. And everybody just want to go on their own.
Yeah.
Even if it is going to be family, I assure you, let's even break, not even into regions. Let's break into families even. In that same family, if you have two people there and you are not based on truth,
they will still divide.
They will still you still have problem. So tell me about Nigeria.
Yes, so for...
Even the thing they are calling restructuring or whatever.
Yes.
People, if there will be no truth in the individual life of every citizen to love the truth and put a system of truth in the whole society, what would that give us?
That would also lead us to further divisions and further subdivisions and more subdivisions. So the most important thing is what Pastor is pointing our attention to tonight, that the greatest force in any nation is not restructuring. The greatest force in any nation is not calling for a Messiah leader to appear from somewhere. It's not even natural resources. Nigeria is one of the wealthiest countries in the world. We have one of the largest deposits of oil. We are one of the largest exporters. And there are, several millions of oil barrels that are leaving the country every day that are not accounted for because of the lack of truth. So these are the things that are destroying us. So if we have Biafra and we have Ududua Republic and we have Arewa, these same issues are still going to come up. And then people will have to again divide. They will still have to, no, you are not my tribe. And then when we even come to the tribe again, then some people will say, no, our origin, we don't have the same history, or our language is not the same.
Or my family is not being taken care of.
Our family is not being taken care of. There will not be equity and equality. I think some of these things, some of these values were what the founding fathers got very, very correctly. Because they didn't have the enormous wealth to work with, but they had the value of truth. These were honest people. Very, very honest. They were straightforward. They were honest people. They wanted equality and equity for women. You see that reflect in everything that they left behind as legacy. The buildings that they built in those years, they are still some of the leading buildings still today. The roads that they constructed are still there till today.
Not like today.
Not like today. But today, when contracts are being awarded, somebody sees that as an
But there's no truth
to strike every other person. So that is it's.
So you are getting it?
Yes, I'm getting it.
Okay, let me now continue. Thank you for that, because, just one quality, and I have a whole set of value systems that we could develop like this and get any country out of the woods, out of the hoods. But you see, I don't know if my country will ever even listen to me. I'm not sure. But even if they will not listen to me, I will do my best to at least deliver it. And I hope it will remain somewhere. It will be recorded, I hope. That's why we need to get these things out of YouTube, out of Facebook, so that we know it's secured. We must secure these things in our own place. Because I talk about laboratories, right? Why laboratories? Why do you need to do research? Laboratories to find out the truth. Laboratories is to find out truth. Medicine, medical laboratories and researches is about finding out the truth. That's why you get healing. That's why you get cure. That's why you get medicine. That's why you get, pharmaceutical drugs. Because you find out the truth. Research, libraries and laboratories, they are all about, in fact, physics is about the truth. Mathematics is about truth. Those things, the reason why education is all about truth. The reason why education is necessary, science, is to find out the true way and how God created nature to function. Once you find out the truth about, the heart of man, how it's created, how it's functioning, when it's in line, when it's in sync with the truth, you bring healing. It is when you find out the truth about headache, about how the head is supposed to work, and it's in correspondence with nature. It has to be in correspondence with nature. It has to be in correspondence with the way God asked it to function, the way God made it to function. It is when you are in sync with nature, things work. Nothing works until you agree with God. Oh. Nothing works until you agree with the truth of God. So, for example, when you say you find cure for something, the only reason you find cure for it is because you discover how God made it to function. And when you agree with that, with that order of God, with the truth of creation, then you get healing, you get a cure. The reason you have electricity is because people do research to find out the truth about how what light system that God has put in nature works, energy system works. And when we set up our system to agree with the nature, we can produce electricity. You spoke about road. It is because when why are we making road? Why do some road last and some don't last? Because if you do it in accordance to the truth, absolute truth, with the best result and the best research, you discover that the road can last you longer. But when you do it without finding out the absolute truth about how the conditions of things, how things are supposed to be done by nature, how God and nature who created them, God. But if you agree with nature, you prosper. When you disagree with nature, you fail. Nature is God, the truth of God. So God is at the basis of everything, and nobody can escape God. Nothing works without the truth, and nothing works without it being in sync with the thoughts and mind of God. Trees will not walk. In fact, the planting, the things that we plant, why do we know that we have to do irrigation? We have to go and wet the flower. You have to prepare the ground, because the research has been done that that's the way nature has made it to function. And when we discover how nature has made the earth to function, to bring back to plants and things like that, then you discover, we just need to follow the nature. You've been in sync with nature, then you can produce agricultural produce. Truth produces it. You see, truth is the basis for development. But when you live in a society where they tell you that, anything goes, you can just manipulate your way and do whatever you want to do, you come against the whole nature of God, the whole order of creation. You stop your own progress. Nothing works. Everything begins to break down. That's why in the beginning I was saying, God, just help me to pass this message across. I see you will do it, but I really wanted you to call your friends, because this is probably going to be one of the most important messages you will ever hear in your whole life. Nothing more important. Okay, thank you so much. Now you can be free. Now let's go into the scripture, okay? so confirm this in the Bible. Isaiah, the book of Isaiah 59. I know that Kate is thinking she will have some things to say at the end. I hope she's writing them down, you don't forget. Isaiah 59. Isaiah 59. 14 to 15. You'll see the confirmation of my thoughts. And listen closely to this. And judgment is turned away backward, because there was a time in Israel when people thought that they could just survive without truth. That truth doesn't matter so much. That, we can do anyhow we want. We can live our own life. We are in charge of our own lives. We can do anything we like. We are okay. Okay, but let's see where this leads. And judgment is turned away backward, and justice stands afar off. Why? Why was there no judgment? Nothing is done well. Judgment is not just take the judgment that the court pass. But judgment is also the ability to do things right. Judgment, to have the right judgment, the right judgment about issues. So there was no judgment. Judgment has turned back. There is a reason for it, and I will tell you now. Justice, no justice for people. There is a reason for it. Justice stands afar off. Why? For truth is falling in the street. If you see a society where there is no justice to the poor, where there is no justice to the citizens, where there is no justice to church members, where there is no justice to the disadvantaged, to the widows, to the orphans, to the disadvantaged and disenfranchised people. You see now why the heartbeat of God is always about these things. If you people listen to me when I spoke about the prostitution of tithe and offering, God is always concerned about justice. You see, tithe and offering is all about justice. Malachi 3:5. It's all about doing justice to people. That's why he instituted it in the first place. God is about justice. But where truth has fallen, people abuse justice and judgment. So people are collecting tithe and offering, but they are misadministrating it and misappropriating it. Why? Truth has fallen in the street. We think it's because we have a bad president. What did he say? Even if Jesus Christ is the president of my country or of any country, if the principle that God himself has instituted is not respected and honored, even with Jesus as the president, without truth, that country will still fail. This is what happened to Israel. God was the president of Israel. God was the Lord of Israel. But when they revolted against the truth, even God could not do much. With God as president, there will still be no justice. With God as president, there will be no judgment about issues, no sound judgment. Judgment is turned away when truth is gone, when truth is not honored. That's why it's not supposed to be about where you come from, if you are my relative or you are not my relative. It is not about your position. It's not about if we are belonging to the same party or we belong to the same culture or we belong to the same tribe or we come from the same city. It's not if we belong to the same church. It's about the truth. Nothing is as important as the truth, my friend. And that's why last week I did my best to first of all introduce you to the concept of truth in general on a personal basis before I begin to talk about the society. So that you will fall in love with the truth. So that truth, first of all, will become your own personal friend. Before I begin to go wider and wider. There will be no justice, there will be no judgment where there is no truth. Then it goes on to say, and equity cannot enter. That is justice. I mean, that means equality cannot enter. There will be no equality in the society. People will not be equal. The people who will be strong will be people who have the power, not the people who have the truth. So people who are right will never be right. People who have force will be the ones who are right. There will be no equity in that society. Why? The truth has been murdered. If there is anything that my country could do, anything I could do for my country, is that we will start movements like this movement against deception in the church. But not just this, but any kind of movement, call it anything. We have to have like 1 million NGOs or 100,000 NGOs that are just affirming the truth everywhere. That is why I wrote the article about whistleblowers, because that's based on the principle of the truth. But that is just in one area to get money back. But the government doesn't even know that truth is not just necessary to get the money back from people who stole it, but truth is necessary everywhere, in every facet of the society. There must be constitutions, there must be legislations, there must be order. Even without legislation, there must be campaigns. And now, do you understand why, before I started talking about the truth, I had to talk about the plague of silence? Do you now? Are you beginning to see my way of thinking now? So the plague of silence is necessary so that when we get to know the truth, we will no more be silent. We have seen the importance of not being silent. Now we know why. If we could start as many organizations as possible, not even organizations alone, if we could just start for everybody on this platform to begin to blow their truth, the trumpet of truth everywhere. You see, the wall of Jericho fell because of trumpets. That means not to be silent. If we could get as many people as possible who will blow their own trumpet, who will not be silent, any wall will fall at our feet. The wall of corruption will fall if we could just get as many trumpets, as many voices, as many platforms to blow the trumpet. The walls of division in my country will fall. The agitations for the breaking down of the country will fall if we could find as many people to stand and blow the trumpet for the truth. You see, what that essence is talking about, that old thing about Jericho that pastors preach about, Jericho, the wall of Jericho, is giving us a principle. God is teaching us a principle. That when people don't keep quiet, because he said they should walk. You know, when people are active, when people take responsibility upon themselves to do something, you don't even need to do much. Just talk. Just open your mouth. Just blow your own trumpet. Blow your own whistle. About every matter, about every question that you have seen. If you could just tell the truth, have a platform, don't be quiet. If all of us will begin to talk the truth, to tell the truth, that is one of the most important. In fact, that is more important than our oil. That is more important than our mineral resources. That is more important than every plague. That is every wealth or everything we are talking about today. Because it will bring down any wall. It will bring down our wall of Jericho. It could be economic wall of Jericho. It could be political wall of Jericho, but it will bring it down. Okay, so it says here, this is Isaiah 59, 14 to 15. It says, and equity cannot enter. Yes, truth has failed. You tell me if truth has not failed in my country today. You tell me. You tell me if truth is not failing in Ukraine today. You tell me. Why did we lose Crimea? Truth has fallen. Why did we lose? Why were we having war? Truth has fallen. If you see a society where truth falls or fails, That is the foundation of any society. The foundation of the society begins to shake, and everything begins to fall apart. Truth fails, and he that even departs away from evil, wants to live by the truth, makes himself a prey. Because people will take advantage of you. Because as the larger society doesn't honor truth. So if you are the only one, they think you are weak. And they use you and abuse you. That's why it says they become a prey. I don't know if you're getting it. That's why it must be a holistic. So for example, if I am talking about the truth about tithe and offering, for example, and I'm the only one talking about it, you know what will happen? All the bad guys will gather together and say, he is the one that is in error. He is the bad guy. But if we all come against the plague of silence and everybody begin to talk about it, the more, the better, then the truth prevails. You see, if we all take the trumpet and attack that Jericho, it will go down. Not just about tithe and offering, not just about any kind of injustice, about any kind of lack of truth. Okay, let's continue. So, where truth is absent in the society, they that want to live right become victims. Moreover, there will be bloodshed in any society where truth, the more, it doesn't start with bloodshed. The more you depart from the truth, it depends on what area you depart from the truth. If you depart from the truth in the area of economy, it brings down economic collapse. If you depart from the truth in the area of righteousness, it brings about the situation you have in America right now. The Democrats and it brings about collapse, social collapse. If you talk depart from economy in the area of, the truth in the area of, let's say, nationality or something like that, then you begin to have crisis. But it will keep on getting worse until it gets to like bloodshed. There will just be crisis upon crisis, different places. It will even get to war. Let me confirm that to you. Isaiah 59 verse 3 to 4. Isaiah 59 verses 3 to 4, it says, "For your hands are defiled with blood." Truth. Why? You see now, it's all connected to the truth. For your hands are defiled with blood, and your fingers with iniquity. Your lips have spoken lies. Your tongue have muttered perverseness. None calleth for justice, you see. For none pleaded for truth. Anywhere you see bloodshed, you know what is missing. Truth and justice have gone missing. If you see anywhere where there is bloodshed, it is because people have departed from truth and people have disregarded justice. And justice is only an affiliation of truth. So when truth is missing, there will be no justice, there will be no judgment. And then it will lead to many things, including bloodshed. He said, they trust in vanity. They speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity. So it led to bloodshed. Lies, next point. Lies and deceptions will be the order of the day in any society where there is no truth. And what is lie and deception? Corruption, deception, theft, robbery, armed robbery, no merit, lack of productivity, industry will not work, commerce will fail, mathematics, science will suffer, education, people will not study well because they will be paying to get education to get mark, or they will be sleeping with teachers to get mark, so they are not skillful, they are not specialists, they cannot produce when they come out, there will be unemployment, there will be joblessness, there will not be skillful professionals to produce things. Why is it that we don't have skillful workers even ordinary laborers, because there is no truth. People are not sincere enough to do quality job. People just want to get what? Money. Why? That is the vanity that people are looking for. Lies, vanity. So if there is anything we could do for our country, is to banish lack of truth and to establish truth with all our vigor. In that same Isaiah chapter 59, verse 5 and 6, it says, they hash cocteris eggs from cocteris and weave the spider's web. They want to web, and it's from spider. How long will that last? They tell people to build tent. They build it from spider web. How long will that last? You tell me. How long will that tent last? From spider's web, eh?
Till the next one blows.
He that eateth their eggs, they die, and they and that which is crushed breaketh out into a viper, because it's from snake. You know, they said you would want to buy egg. They are selling you cockatrice egg from snake egg, and you break it. Oh, you die because they think sticks you. Their webs, which are supposed to be tents, shall not become garments. They cannot become garments because you don't do garments from spider's webs. Neither shall they cover themselves with the work of web. Their works are works of iniquity. That is like my country. Everything is fake. No original product. And nothing can last. No quality, no excellence. Why? Because of deception. No lack of truth. You see? What more can I say? This is why truth matters. Does truth matter really? I'm not talking about individual relationship yet. I'm just talking about society right now. Does truth matter really? Because my country is my heart. Okay. Neither shall. So that's why anybody can tell any evil thing they want to say about Europe and about Western countries. Yeah, Western countries are not perfect, but they got something right. They base they are trying. They are not absolutely based on truth, 100%. But if we have truth, just 10%, Western countries have at least 80% truth. They are trying. So we might complain about gay wedding or something, but it's also one part of their efforts to get truth spread to everybody in their own understanding. So, truth, my dear. First of all, we have to fall in love with the truth. And we have to make truth be elevated, be celebrated, and to be the watchword of our country. All those words like corruption or all those things, nobody even knows what they mean. Or they are only thinking they refer to only politicians. But when you talk about truth, it's everybody's responsibility. And this is what we must restore to our society, for our society to function. Okay, so there will be no justice in such society where truth is being neglected. And subsequently, where there is no justice, there will be no peace. See any society where there is no peace? Where there is always unrest? Truth has been compromised, believe me. Okay. Verse 8. The way of peace they know not. How would they know where there is no peace? I mean, where there is no truth. The way of peace they know not. So you see now why truth is so important, the topic of truth. And this is the Bible. But people don't preach so much about these things. If you have not yet shared the message, please, let's go and share this message. Let's go and share the message. Huh? Okay, where am I? I was reading the scripture, right? Okay. It's verse 8. That is Isaiah 59, verse 8. The way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. In their goings means in their businesses, in their activities. They have made them crooked ways, themselves crooked paths. Whosoever goes therein shall not know peace. Therefore is judgment far from us. Neither does justice overtake us. Because all these things were happening in Israel. It's a symbol. You know, Israel is like a picture, like a shadow of societies today, how God relates to societies. So it's still the same principle. What can you say? So peace, there will be no peace in such societies. Then, next point I want to make, without truth, a society will be in darkness. Because truth is light and truth is love. I don't know if you will remember that I laid the foundation for that last week. That truth is connected to love and light. Truth is light and truth is love. Three things I said. Three words, don't forget. Now we're going back to that now. So that was the foundation that I laid. Now you see the sense. Because when people don't have the truth, they will not make their products out of love. Anything they do, because in their ways, you know, that's what it says. That they go their ways, you know, everything is crooked, you know, they are doing everything. Everything is crooked. You are not thinking how to give you the best product so that you'll be happy. They don't love you. Because there is no truth, there will be no love. You want to talk about my country? We are the most churched country in the world. One of the most churched countries in the world. We have 80 million people who say they are Christians. You think we are supposed to know something about love? We don't. You think we are supposed to know something about truth? We don't. Because when there is truth is not elevated on our pulpit, truth is not being preached, truth is not respected, truth is not being crowned upon our society. We say Christianity is a Christian of love. We don't have an understanding about love. That's why we can pass by those children playing in the street and don't give them any help. That's why we can pass by all the suffering people, all the, you know, the disenfranchised people, all the destitutes in our society, and we don't pay attention. We have no idea about love. There is no love where there is no truth. We could go to church, we think we are praying God. No, God said the worshippers who are really worshiping Him are those who worship Him in spirit and in truth. Truth is more important than praise and worship. Truth is more important than going to church. Truth is more important than all the gymnastics we are doing in church. Because without truth, we cannot really worship Him even. For you all to worship Him, it has to be in truth. And when we don't have truth, all our worship are in vain. Believe me. That's the only kind of worship it takes. It has to be in truth. But since it's not in truth, we are only doing religion. Anyway, so without truth, a society is in darkness. They won't be able to find a way out. In that society, nothing will work. Even the churches of that society are in darkness. Because the churches don't even preach the truth. The churches in my country preach compromised gospel most of the time. We make sure in the name of Jesus, we read from the Bible, but things are normal, basically not in accordance with the truth. That's why leaders and pastors in my country are owning people as if they are slaves, controlling people's destinies and just making them to just become churchgoers only. That is not even truth. So there is darkness in any society where truth is not respected and honored. Therefore, it is Isaiah 59 verse 9 and 10. Therefore is judgment far from us. Neither doth justice overtake us. We wait for light. We cannot get light. And in our country, not just light spiritually, even physically. We wait for light, but we cannot get light. We live in darkness. But behold obscurity, darkness. We wait for brightness, but we walk in darkness. Because darkness is a product only of truth. Okay, for example, some churches, some pastors were telling me that MMM and things like that, oh, they don't hurt anybody, but they didn't go to steal it. But it's not truth. That is the fact. It's not true. They don't produce anything. They are not, producing any service. They are taking things from people and deceiving them. It's not according to truth. It's enough. You don't need to know are they hurting anybody, because they will hurt eventually. Anything that is not in accordance with the truth will hurt eventually. Oh, what's your problem? And leave them alone. The economy is bad. That's why. Economy is bad. To live against the truth will make things worse. Oh, you see, things are difficult here. So people are just trying to make, to struggle anyhow they can, or to whatever they hustle. But if they're hustling according to, against the truth, it will be worse. There is nobody that can do anything against the truth. There is nothing you can do against the truth. Only for the truth. And, if you are using your life principles and actions against the truth, you cannot go against the truth and succeed. You cannot, live against the truth and make it. You cannot fight against the truth. There is nothing that we can do against the truth. Only for the truth. So we walk in darkness. We grope for the wall like the blind. And we grope as if we had no eyes. We stumble at noonday, as in the night. That's what is happening. In places where things are supposed to be smooth and running easily, we even stumble there. We cannot even begin that up. Why? Where there is no truth, these are the things that happen. We are in desolate places as dead men. You see, people are asking me, what is this scripture? But I've been saying, it's in the Bible. This is all from the Bible. People have reading this. People are thinking, where are you getting them from? This is from the Bible. That I just finished reading Isaiah 59, 9 to 10. So the state of Israel then is like what my country is experiencing today. This is all about Nigeria for me. I know it's not just Nigeria. I know any country. Ukraine too falls into this category. Many other places. Verse 11, it says, we roar all like bears. We cry to God for help. The bears, when they are hungry and they need help, they cry, oh, we roar like bears. But there is no help. We are crying to God. If you want to look for any country where people cry to God and roar in prayer, it's my country. Do you think it helps? If you have neglected the truth, no amount of roaring, no amount of crying, no amount of wailing will help. First of all, we've got to not just repent. Everybody says, oh, let us repent. If we repent, we have been repenting every year. We need to change our ways. We really need to fall in love with truth. Embrace the truth and establish the truth on the basis of the law and civil societies. Everybody needs to go and begin to establish and promote the truth. We roar all like bears. We mourn, we cry, soar like doves. We look for judgment. And we look for deliverance. Where is my book? Only God can save Nigeria. We cry to God. Ask for God for help. That only God can save Nigeria. God, come and help us. God, come and help us. Only God can save Nigeria. That's why I wrote this book. Only God can save Nigeria? What a myth. It's not going to happen. God cannot save Nigeria. God has already saved. Because God has already given us his principles and his ways. But we are living by what we want. We are living as we want. So it says, we call for salvation, but it is far from us. So we are roaring, we are crying, we are praying for salvation. It's not coming. Why? Because simple thing we need to do. Go back to the basis of what God has already given us, the truth. Meanwhile, we are still praying, calling on God. But the more we pray, the worse it gets. Why? Let's see. In that same chapter, Isaiah 59, verse 1 to 4, the Bible provides the answer. That God is able to do things. God is not weak. Why is God not answering us? Is it because God is dead? No. Is it because God is weak? No. Is it because God doesn't have, his hands are too short to deliver? You think God's hands are too short to deliver? You think God's hands are too short to deliver? Or you think his ears are too busy or with prayers from other parts of the world that they cannot hear you? His ears are too heavy, too busy, too crowded? No. We've led principles. We forgot about principles, you see. And that's what God says. In Isaiah 59, 1 to 4, he says, behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened, you see. You see, God could do it. God could lift any nation. God could deliver. But it will not lift you while you have left his principle, while you have abandoned him. Because when you abandon truth, you abandon God, really. You go to church, we are religious, but you have really abandoned God. Because the truth is God. Jesus said, I'm the life, the way, and the truth. He is the truth. So the truth, when you abandon truth, you abandon God. So even though we are praying, we need to get back to the truth. So he said, the hand of God is not short, God can do anything. God can deliver, but he will not go and be doing things against his own nature, against what he said he should, or against his own order. Okay, he said, God's hand is not shortened that he cannot save, you see. He can save Nigeria too, but unless we go back to order, he will not do it. And I've written all that in this book. Neither is ear heavy. God's ears are not heavy, that it cannot hear. You see God has been deaf? No, but why is he not hearing? Go back to my order. God has his order. The answer is not in heaven. The answer is right here on earth. But your iniquities have separated between you and your God, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he will not hear. Okay, what are the things God is calling sin and iniquity? Because in my country, when you talk about sin and iniquity, they will say, oh, they are unbelievers. We are not sinning, we are not drinking, we are not having boyfriend, and we are not sleeping, we are not smoking. That's its holiness in my country. But come and see, come and see what God is referring to as sin and iniquity here. Because God is looking at the heart. We are always mentioning sin by outward things, but God is looking at the heart all the time. He always looks at the heart. So here he's saying, but your iniquities have separated you and your God, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he will not hear. For your hands are defiled with blood, and your fingers with iniquity. Your lips have spoken lies. Your tongue has muttered perverseness. Now come and say, none calleth for justice, nor any pleaded for truth. Justice and truth. As a result of that, you began to do all the other things. When there is no truth, there will be no justice, and after that, all other evil will begin to take place. And none called for justice, and you didn't plead for truth. These are the things we are supposed to be pleading for. In my country, we are not pleading for this. We are pleading for change and things in the country, but we are supposed to be pleading not to God, but to ourselves. The only preaching we are supposed to be preaching in our country should be about truth and justice. But you see, the thing we are preaching about? Prosperity, healing, miracle, breakthrough. So God is saying here, the problem is not because God cannot deliver, not because God cannot, but the things you are preaching about, the things you are talking about are the wrong stuff. You are laying the wrong emphasis. You are paying emphasis on the wrong things. The things you are supposed to be preaching about should be truth and justice. But if you go to my country, most churches, 90% will be preaching about the same thing. Oh, tomorrow is your breakthrough. Oh, before the end of this, things will happen. Oh, the people who are doing you, the people who are behind you, people who are standing on your problems, people who are still responsible for this, demon will do this, demon will do that. Because you are not pleading for the right things. If you will begin to declare and plead and pray and live and beg people to live by the truth and for justice, you will discover that God's hands are not shortened. Then you will discover that God's ears are not heavy. But instead of that, what do? They trust in vanity, miracle, speak lies, promise that today is your day, and next month Sunday they will say today is your day again. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity. These are the things we are doing instead of facing justice and truth. That is why, my friends, I know that my time is going, but I cannot stop this thing. I have to bring it to a conclusion. Otherwise, it will not make too much time to people, right? So that is why it is a revolution of values. Success. It is a revolution of values we need, not the revolution of breaking the country. It is a revolution of value we need, not the revolution of restructuring. We can still do restructuring later, but let's change the people's heart first, people's attitude first. The people who are doing that, the restructuring, they want to gain their own thing. They don't have the right, and they don't love the truth. And as long as they don't love the truth yet, nothing will change. They will make things only worse. So the revolution we need is a revolution of truth and values. It's not just another political system. It's not just another president or another political party. It's the revolution of values. Revolution of values. And all individual, all country, all citizens must participate in this revolution. All of us, we must take part and start campaign in our own way to make this revolution a reality. In Jeremiah 7:28, it says, "But thou hast said unto them, this is a nation that obeyeth not the voice of the Lord their God, nor receiveth correction. Truth is perished." Again, only one thing is concerning God: truth. Truth is perished and is cut off from their mouth. I see that Carol Wise is ready today. This is the kind of topic she likes. We will have to hear from her wisdom. So, you see, I normally say one thing, that nations are great. If you remember, nations are great not by the virtue of their wealth or raw materials or mineral resources. Nations are great not by the virtues of their wealth, but by the wealth of their virtues. If they have the wealth of virtues, but me, I'm not even talking about wealth of virtues right now. At least one. At least one. Just one. One. Not be two. One. At least one. If we have just one virtue right now, even though we have a whole list of them that I have ready for my country. But at least if we have this foundational one, things will change. So nations are not great by the virtue of their wealth, but by the wealth of their virtues. Let me use this opportunity, brothers and sisters, to appeal to my country that everybody that is listening to me, that by God's grace, God will raise up laborers and ambassadors for values, ambassadors of virtues, that will stand up and speak and raise up their voices against all unrighteousness, against the plague of silence. That I'm using this opportunity to appeal to every one of you, that you will join this crusade for virtues, for righteousness. Let's become ambassadors. We started this movement that is called the movement against deception. Not just in the church, but we are starting from the church. Movement against deception in the church and in the society. This is movement for the truth. Movement for the truth. Start your own movement, or let us come together. Let us start your own organization. At least start speaking, start talking. Begin to write about everything. Let's begin to raise our trumpets. You see, ordinary trumpets brought down the biggest obstacle, biggest stronghold of all times. And the biggest stronghold, even if it's in our country, it will come down if we all raise our trumpets, our voices, and raise our activism. So we need ambassadors. If you have not yet registered to become an ambassador or a committee member for the movement against deception, please go to Facebook page. The Facebook page is called Movement Against Deception in the church. Go and register there. There is a form there. Go and fill that form. Go and like the page. Go and join the group. Let the revolution begin. Another scripture says in Jeremiah 9:3, and they bend their tongues, these to our pastors, like they are bow for lies, but they are not valiant for the truth upon the earth, you see. If we really need to be valiant, if we really need to be bold and courageous, we should only be courageous about one thing, about the truth. May God begin to raise up thousands of valiant men and women, thousands of courageous men and women who will stand for the truth, who will not be afraid of what people will say or for their reputation or for controversy. Let us start this crusade, this whole movement, national movement for truth. Because he said they are not valiant for truth on the earth. For they proceed from evil to evil, and they know not me, said the Lord. If you don't love the truth, you don't know God. And you will continue from one evil to the other. But these people, this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all like people in the snare, in oaths, and they are hid in prisons and houses. These are church members. They are for a prey, and none delivers them. None say, restore. I hope that you will be one of those that will stand to say, restore and give back. Who among you will give ear to this? I'm challenging you with the word of Isaiah. Who among you will listen to this? Who will listen today? Who will listen to this message? Who will obey? Who will follow? Who will comply? Who will hearken and hear? For the time has come. This is Isaiah 42, 22, 23. Just like today. Who is going to be the first one, guys? Carol Wise? Oh, okay. It's going to be Kate. Why did you wear that thing? You are cold?
Yeah, I was.
Okay. Because you were looking nice before.
Good evening, everyone. It's Kate here. And, well, actually, when Pastor started talking, in the beginning, maybe in first 5 minutes when he started talking, I've been like, I got a cold shower, you know. I became shocked and how to say trezve.
Yeah.
Sober. Yeah. And I became sober because I immediately start seeing my life without rose grasses. I started seeing everything around me. It's like, you know, when people are dying, they see their life running fast in front of their eyes. Yes. This is what I saw.
Like a film.
I saw like a film my life. I saw everything that was not clear to me before. Everything, all the questions that I had before about why, in my life, in society, everywhere, things are wrong. I started seeing this. As the Bible says that you shall know the truth and it will make you free. And like I couldn't even hold my tears because it was overwhelming. So I have outlined some things to share with you this time because it's too much to remember for me. I have seen the beautiful world God has created because I was asking myself why everything is so much in disorder. And people are praying, people are struggling, and people are running red race to make order in their lives. But the only thing they need to know, they need to face the truth, which they usually don't do. They do everything. They run. They spend their time, you know, in Suita, what is the meaning?
In confusion.
They are just running all over the place and never stop to face the truth. But if they would face the truth, if I would stop and face the truth, which is not what I thought before, if I would stop and face the truth, everything would become in order. Because I was asking myself, I'm 36 years old, I'm looking behind in my life, and I'm really not satisfied with what I see. I know what I have in myself, and I know which potential God have put in my heart, in me, in my life. And I wonder why this potential is so much deeper and why I cannot use it. What's wrong with me? Why I'm not there where I could be? What's hindering me? What's stopping me? Why I cannot become organized as I want? Although I know all the principles how to be organized and read 100 books about this. I ask myself why I don't have those results that I want to have. And I can have for God, because He sent me in this world to make a change, not to live for myself. I don't want just to die and be forgotten. I don't remember the name of my grandmother, and I don't want this to happen in the future with me. I don't want people just to forget about me, that there was someone living and he never mattered. I want to live forever on this earth. I don't want to live my life just to perish and just to disappear as wind. I don't want. And I was asking, like, my time is going away. Why I am not there where I want to be? I know where I want to be, and I'm not there yet. And when Pastor started talking about the truth, that actually truth is not what I thought truth was before for me. What truth was before for me? It was just words. I thought truth is when you say truth. I thought truth is when you say truth to yourself, you say truth to another people, you say truth. You don't say lies. This is what I thought truth is. And the topic today was truth. What is truth? And I found out that truth is everything, how it should be. This is the truth, and I have to be looking for it. I have to be looking for how the things should be according to how God created everything. I have to ask myself and answer to myself question how God wants things to be on this earth. I have to answer myself to the question how God sees me, people around, how society should be, and I should go and fix this thing. And this is the truth, not talking, not words is the truth. The words, they come after this. You will say truth when you live according to truth. Then you will, it's not, words is just an expression of who you are. So how I was living, it was not close to the truth. I don't know how I was living before, but it was not any close to the truth, because I never looked for truth, actually. Now, when I health, interesting thing that I'm discovering now about barrenness, and I am going deep into this topic. And what I thought before, many years ago, I thought like this. I thought barrenness. So I was thinking first that I had in my mind is how God, you could do this to me, or how do you do this to other people? Like, why God? And people are living in this, not only regarding barrenness. Anything happens wrong to people, they say, why God? Like, why God?
That's why we have atheists.
This is
because
the
they
most-
think it's God. Atheistic.
Yeah.
They think it's God.
So this is the most stupid question you can ask. Like, why do you ask God? You have things to discover on this earth. If this is the question about barrenness, go and discover what is
Research.
the problem. Research, find out. God didn't create the earth the way it is working now. He didn't create the earth and people to have these problems. But there are problems because we don't know. We don't know. You know that in the past, half of women were dying when they were giving birth or having been pregnant.
Yeah.
We don't have this anymore. We have maybe 10% of women struggling from this, not half of them anymore. It means that we got to some level of knowledge, and we are now on the way to finding the truth. But you know, and church has to be the one answering this question and looking for truth first. Church has to be leading people in looking for truth. But what church does today? Church says, go for 21 days of prayer, night prayer, to become pregnant, you know? Pray for evil spirits, for river of evil spirits that are flowing into your life. Protect yourself from everything that were hidden in your house that makes you being barren. Pray for all your enemies to be dead who are praying for you to be barren. And this is coming from the mouth of people who have to say truth. And you know what? From the same mouth, truth and lies cannot come. Either it is truth, either it is lies. So the church who has to be leading this world in looking for truth is leading now this world into the hell. And this is also what makes me feel the way I feel now, because this is not how it should be. And in fact, I wanted to hide this truth to be hidden. You know, my problem with with miscarriages and everything, miscarriages, I wanted it to be hidden, because like, who cares? Why do I have to talk about this problem? I am like successful in what I do now. People, they know me in the company where I used to work. They know me as a good worker, good this and that. And now I will bring up this problem with miscarriages. Who cares? Why do I even open this? Let people know about me, that I am good and I am fine. Why do I bring it up? And after I found out that women are struggling with this, so I had to go over myself to start telling the truth. That, you know what, you can live with it, and there is no problem in it. Like, if you are barren or you have miscarriages, it's no problem, you can live with it. But even think to open this and to say this publicly, that you are you are living with it and you are fine. You don't want people to know about this because you have discovered the truth, but you want to keep it for yourself. This is how we live. When we discover the truth, we want to keep it for ourselves. We don't want to go farther and to tell it. And then the world collapses. Everything collapses around. And we are only happy that everything is fine with us. This is not how it should be. And everything that we ignore will then hit us from another side. You know what? I also discovered that I don't love truth at all. I love myself, but not truth. For example, I had for a long time a problem with some close relatives to me with alcohol, problem with alcohol.
Who drinks?
Who drinks. And I always was, again, I was asking God, why is this happening in my life? Like, why me? And I now, or not now, for a long time already, I start understanding that something is working wrong in this, in family, in relationship. Maybe somewhere is disorder. Somewhere something has to be fixed. Something has to become in order, and this truth has to be found in order this to come in how it should be. And you know what I discovered? I discovered that the reason the person is addicted is because there is no love to this person. Because when this person comes drunk to the house, it's all the people around, they hate the person. So how you can come then without drinking if everyone hates you, if everyone judges you? So things, you know what, we don't look for truth. It's much more easier to blame someone. The most easier thing is to blame God. Why did you do this to me? Why are you doing this to me? Why? God has created the world in perfect way. It's you or it's me who messed up. And now instead of fixing this, you and me, we say, I don't want to know about this. I just want my life to be fine. So what is the shortcut? What is the shortcut? Do I have to go for 21 days for night prayer? Okay, let me do this. Do I have to, I don't know, do I have to give someone money to fix this problem? Let me do this. So we are living only for ourselves in our small world, and let the all other world collapse because I don't care. But when this world will collapse, you too will collapse. And I will collapse. So the question
That's
now,
what's happening in Nigeria.
exactly, this is what's happening. So the reason I am in condition now, I'm broken, because this is not like bad brokenness. It's like I'm broken to be built from the beginning, because now I want to start building my life on truth. And I'm really excited because I know that there is really exciting world in front of me, because I know that God created this world in perfect way, and I'm looking forward to live in this beautiful world and to build this world. I'm very excited about this.
Okay, go closer.
Wow.
Carol Wise is
Thank
here.
you, Kate. That was very powerful. So actually, I was thinking in a different direction. I can't speak for any other country but my own, which is America. And I can say that, when I go to different countries, I often wonder, why do things not work in order? Like, if I go to Nigeria, or I go to, just any country where things aren't working as clearly as they are in America. And it just staggers me, because I guess I've just been living there for so long. And one day I came to my mom and I was like, I think the reason why things don't work so well in these other countries is because America has something called idiot proof. And it means that they make everything in big, bold letters, and they put security cameras everywhere, and they put security guards everywhere. And I was like, it's really weird though, because in most people's minds in America, you just follow the rules. But what I realized is that America doesn't put these idiot proof things in place to keep the majority in order. They put those things in place for the idiots, for the 10% of people who are not going to follow the rules. And I realized that is like a really powerful way to keep truth inside a nation, is to not just blind yourself to, most people will follow this, or most people who have good hearts and most people who are good will follow this rule, but to be honest with yourself and say that not everyone is like that. Not everyone thinks the same. Not everyone is living according to truth. So we'll put things in place to make sure that no matter what, whether your truth is relative or not, you're going to follow these rules. But I will say, that isn't a positive for America, but I will say that America was not built on truth completely. Pastor touched a little bit on the fact that a nation can have just a little bit of lack of truth and be just dismantled, just slowly, maybe slowly but surely. And even though America is praised for being, it was praised at one point for being the nation of God, a Christian nation. It was praised for, having industrial advancement and all this. The truth is that they had a crack in their foundation, and that was in the equality of man. They built that nation on inequality. And to this day, today, we actually are being swallowed by that same inequality. Though we might have wealth, though we might have prestige, though we might have reputation, the truth is that right now that country is being swallowed by the very thing, the very crack that they refuse to fill. They've been filling it for years with like toothpaste. So it looks nice. So it looks smooth. So it looks like it's part of the rest of the foundation, but it's not. And just to illustrate this for you, there's a lady, her name is Jane Elliott. She's a teacher. And she decided to bring about truth to her nation in the 60s. She decided to run a study with children. And this study actually proved how racism is established and how it develops amongst people. Now, she proved this, and it was super controversial, but it did clarify some really heavy truths about racism. About 20 years later, in the 80s, she came into a room of, I think, high schoolers, college-age students. And I think it was just all white, I believe it was, all white kids, or it was a majority, but she asked all the white students, how many of you see the injustice happening to your African-American fellow students? And most of them raised their hands. And then, no, none of them raised their hands. All of them said, no, we don't see it. And then she asked, okay, so how many of you would also like to be treated like any one of your African-American students? And none of them raised their hands. She said, so that means that you are lying to yourself. That means that you are actually seeing these things and you are refusing to do anything about it. Because why? You don't want to cause a row. You don't want to cause a stir. You don't want to shake the boat. But you are seeing it. But you're denying it to yourself. And that was really shocking in the 80s. Today, we have Black Lives Matter, 40 years later almost. Why is this problem continuously reoccurring? Why can't we just settle it? Why can't we deal with it? Because this one area of America refuses to live in truth. And today, it is swallowing America whole. The inability to be accepting of people who are different from you is swallowing America. Now it's not just Black people. Now it's Mexicans. Now it's, Middle Easterners. Now it's all kinds of people. That issue, that crack on which they built America. America was built on the blood of Native Americans, on the backs of Black people. That problem, which they refuse to deal with, which they continue to put toothpaste in the crack so that it looks nice, is swallowing America whole. So just to illustrate to you how a small problem in the foundation of a truth when it comes to a nation can consume a nation, a great nation, a nation that people praise. And you can see what's happening now. The division in America, it's ridiculous, something that we haven't seen for a while. But it's something that keeps reoccurring because we refuse to be truthful about the situation. We, just like those students in that classroom, continue to deny ourselves the truth. The first level of truth, telling yourself the truth about yourself. America refuses to be truthful about itself.
Wow.
And so it's destroying itself. But they don't know that. Everybody now has their own relative truth, yes. But they all are denying the fact that there is a huge problem that they are refusing to see.
Huge elephant in the room.
Huge. Now, the elephants myself and all of my fellow colored and immigrant people, we know that there's a problem. But it's the person who is deceived that needs to know the truth, not the people who are enlightened. Just like those security cameras that those security guards keep those people who are deceived in themselves, those things need to be put in place. There needs to be truthful establishments that keep ignorance and deceit, self-deceit out. So that's what I will have to say. It was short, but I don't have much else to say. Anyone else?
Good evening, family. Such a privilege to be here and to discuss my thoughts with us. While Pastor was speaking tonight, basically what was just going through my mind is how can we get such thing like this to the heads of everybody? Because as far as I'm concerned, this is like the root cause. This is like the foundation of everything that we need to know. I mean, this is just so profound. So many things, so many thoughts were just going through my head. You know, it's the cause of all diseases. This is the reason why nations rise. This is the reason why nations fall. This is why people prosper. This is why some are rich. This is why some are poor. These are the reasons why some people live long and why some people die. This is the reason why systems work and certain things do not work. So I just really feel that if we can just on this alone, if we can bring this to many people at their own level, if we can find a way to communicate this to a 5-year-old as much as we can also communicate it to a 70-year-old, then we would have done an extreme good to our world, through our educational systems, through our movie, we have cinemas, the schools, the universities, laboratories, our churches. You know, I just was thinking, what have we really been doing in church? Because as far as I'm concerned, this is, you know, when we do not have elements, essence like this, then what really is the gathering, the whole gathering? What is it about really? Just got like I think there's a part of scripture that says something about a gathering of fools. You know, when fools gather, you know, that is basically what many of these congregations have become. Because when we call ourselves the house of truth, and we do not, truth itself has escaped from the pulpit, then what are we talking about? So it has become, you know, and then we are developing hell. We are developing systems that is breeding hell, that is putting people into hell. And these are the reasons why nations rise. And these are the reasons why nations fall. Hell on earth. We are breeding hell on earth. People are practically living in hell right here. So I really think that we would do ourselves, like Pastor has said, what brought down the wall of Jericho, that also was extremely profound for me. What brought down the wall of Jericho, it wasn't because people were worshiping. That is what I've been taught, and that was what I always thought. But it was because the noise of the trumpet was very high. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was shouting about it. You know, the people were raising their voice about it. And when you have such element, then any wall, any deception will come crumbling down. So it is time for us to raise our voice. As people, those of us who have heard about this thing, we have a responsibility to the rest of the people out there to hear about this. If our nation collapsed, it is because we did nothing about it. It is our fault. It is because we refused to stand for the truth. It was because we were men of lies. And if the nation is going to survive, if the nation is going through a critical moment at this time, it is because we are going to take the bull by the horn. We are going to stand for the truth. We are going to speak the truth. We are going to communicate the truth. Wherever it is, we are going to align ourselves with the truth. You know, there's this story that I read about a long time ago. I think they call it the Great Wall of China. The story of the Great. I don't know how many people have read that story. One of the greatest wars in the world at that time, if not the greatest, was the Great Wall of China. You know, the Chinese built a wall around their city, a very mega wall. I think right now today is still one of the most phenomenal things in the world. Very high, very big, as a matter of fact, 6 chariots can stand on the wall of China side by side and they'll be convenient. That was how massive the walls were, because they wanted to build protection around themselves. They didn't want enemy soldiers to invade their city. So they built great walls, they built army, they did all sorts of things. But then it was very funny because every time the enemies always came into the city, they would just invade so easily. So they were always wondering what is happening with all this massive war that we have built around ourselves. Yet the enemy was just, they will come in, they will kill people, they will take them hostage. What was the secret of the enemy? They will always bribe people at the gates. So whenever they bribe one or two of the security, people were just those ones, they will just leave the gates open. And then the enemies will come into China very easily. That is what has become of our nation. Lack of truth. People we place at the finance, in charge of money, they are just leaving the gates open. People we place in charge of, maybe the healthcare system, they will just leave the gates open. They will do whatever. Education, everything is collapsing just like that. It is our responsibility to stand up for the truth. Pastor said something extremely profound for me. He said, the moment we begin to misalign ourselves just one centimeter, and somebody is scientific, you will really, really appreciate that, because all you need is just 1 centimeter deviation. And then by the time you just imagine let's say this is the standard, and there's a 1 centimeter deviation. Now, as it begins to go on, it's no longer 1 centimeter any longer. It begins to get wider and so much deviation like that. What that means is this, that the lies that we fail to correct now, if we fail to realign ourselves now, then think of the generations coming. Think of how much deviation would have happened to them.
They started by stealing in thousands in the 60s.
Yes, sir.
Then in the 70s became stealing
millions, and now, and maybe tomorrow we can wake up and the whole finance department is gone. Somebody might have done on with the Ministry of Finance. So now we need and these things are extremely, I was trying to say the most corrupt countries in the world, countries like Somalia, some of these, apart from different other, but this is extreme because of their misalignment with truth. So when we cannot align ourselves with truth, we get ourselves into problems. All medical diseases, as a medical doctor, I can tell you, all of the medical diseases, I was just trying to, think through my head, is because of misalignment with the truth. So people will want to misalign themselves with truth, and then they want to come to the doctor to perform a miracle. When you misalign yourself with the truth, you have only provided for me as a medical doctor a source of living. I will just be feeding. So doctors get their living just based on your own misalignment with the truth. So you are feeding wrongly, you are eating wrong things, you are feeding your bad things into your system, misaligning yourself with the truth, with the natural order. Then by the time you come to me, I'm just getting a living from that. That is misalignment with the truth. So let's, as much as possible, whatever thing, either it is in our health, either it is in our finance, either it is in the society, whichever way we want to, or whichever systems, we've got everything. It is what is the natural order of God for this? What is the natural process? When it comes to justice, what is the natural order of God? The tithe and offering series that we did, of course, extremely, I'm not so sure where you have heard about that before. Now we know the truth. To align ourselves with justice, with truth. Some people, they will still defend lies. That is extremely painful. Just because this is the tradition, this is the culture, this is what we are used to, and all that. No, it is about what is true. None of us can kick against thorns. Nobody can kick his leg against thorns. None of us can kick truth in the face. So if it is true, it is good that we quickly align ourselves with it. It is quickly we bring ourselves to correction. It is quickly we align ourselves, we identify with justice, we identify with honesty, and we identify with truth. So this is a challenge to all of us tonight. It is a challenge. I don't know which ways we want to think about it. Either it's in our family, and when it comes to national development, that is another very, very important area right now. I'm so passionate about Nigeria. So passionate about Nigeria. In Nigeria today, we need our young people, to stop clamoring for, it's lack of information that is making people clamor for individual nations. We want to break up. We want secession and all of that. What we need the most is to address the issues that are on ground, the issues of injustice, the issues, that affects our misalignment with truth. What is happening to we ourselves, first of all, we have to begin with ourselves before we begin to even make accountability. We demand accountability from our government. So we need all of this information, whichever way we want to. If you can sing, sing about it. If you can dramatize about it. Right. If you can write about it. If you can speak, make videos, begin to talk about it. We need to publish all of these things from the mountain, from the rooftops. We need everybody to hear about it. Who says that your voice cannot be heard? Who says that it is not your voice, it is not what you write that will bring about the revolution and the change that is needed? So let's set this on fire. Let's get this out there. We have heard tonight the power and the force of truth. Righteousness, the force of truth will elevate a nation. It will enthrone a nation. It will enthrone anybody. But then, misalignment with the truth, misalignment, going away from the truth is a reproach, is an embarrassment to any persons. Thank you so much.
I think we should write the book. Yes. We have to write the book. I think we should call it the Truth Revolution.
Revolution of the Truth.
Or Revolution of Truth. Revolution of Truth. Would they understand what's Revolution of Truth? Anyway, Paul Ohayere. Paul Ohayere is one of the crusaders. So if you have not checked out Paul Ohayere's videos, go ahead and look at him. Go ahead and listen to the guy. He is on fire. I don't know, Paul, did you get my letters now? Because you have not replied. I don't know if you received my reply or you didn't receive my reply. I hope you did. But thank God. I'm going to be talking about this this whole week. I'll be talking about what is truth. But today I thought it was important to start with, why it matters, first of all. And I think we made the point, at least, the point that I made today is why it matters on the larger scale, on the national scale. But tomorrow I'll be talking about why truth matters. Let me see what I should talk about tomorrow in a more private, more individual kind of level, so that you will see that truth matters, not just when it comes to the nation or developing of nation or building of a country. But truth matters actually even in what we will call, our private, mundane, life, ordinary life. Yeah, I'll be talking more about the truth tomorrow. So today, I think we call it Why Truth Matters, yeah? That's the topic of today, right?
Yes. Why truth matters. What is
truth? Why truth matters. Tomorrow, I'll be talking more about today is why it matters. Then tomorrow I will say what is truth, the importance of truth. I will talk about the importance of truth tomorrow. Hello, sir. Paul Ajogbe said, I want to come to Ukraine month end. Why not? Write to me. My email is pastor@godembassy.org. pastor@godembassy.org. But also you need to write to my guest department, because they are the ones to facilitate your visit. And the guest department is called guest, G-U-E-S-T, guest@godembassy.org. guest@godembassy.org. Yeah. So if you write there and duplicate it to my email, which is pastor, I'll be able to, you can come at any time. Everybody is at home here. Okay, so thank you, everybody. We've taken long today, but, I will be talking like the whole week on these things. So I hope you are blessed, and I hope your eyes were open more to the subject of truth. But don't forget what we have started with from last week, the levels of truth. But now, this particular truth we are talking about, of course, the one I spoke about today is more of the, we're talking like the fifth level. But, but it has to start with individual. If we don't start from the beginning, the levels of truth, the very first level, we cannot get to this place where we are. So thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you soon. Blessings. Bye.